Hey, what's up everybody? This is Gary coming at you with my 2018 Tesla Model 3 sitting behind me. Had this vehicle for about 4 years now. I actually took delivery June 2018. It currently has about 86,000 miles on it. Actually took delivery in St. Louis, Missouri, and currently I'm in LA. So actually drove it here. But you know, it has a lot of mileage on it. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it, longer or sell it. But, now that a lot of Model 3s, Model S's, Model X, whatever is hitting the used marketplace, maybe wondering, how is it owning a Model 3 with so many miles on it? So let's talk about it. Let me give you the pros and cons about owning this particular vehicle and how it's been, helping me throughout my life. So let's get it cracking. Alrighty guys, so what we have here is my 2018 Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive. Gorgeous red color. I actually wanted to get white, and at the last second I decided to get red, and I'm really happy I did. I have a ceramic coating on this particular vehicle as well as PPF, and I think that helps keep kind of the shine and makes it look a lot better, in the sunlight. But yeah, like I said, this is a 2018 Tesla Model 3. It has about roughly 86,000 miles on it, and to be honest, if you saw this on the street, well, kind of like you are now, you really wouldn't even know that it has that many miles. I take it to a lot of places, car shows and things like that, and some of the people I speak with are shocked that it has that many miles on it. I try my best to keep this vehicle in good condition as much as I can. And if things do happen, I tend to get those fixed pretty quickly. But vehicle's been great. I had an Audi A5 before I purchased this vehicle, and I haven't looked back not once. I honestly, I've never been in a position where I've liked a car so much that I don't know if I want to get an upgrade or stick with that particular vehicle. I've always had lease vehicles, so traditionally I would just get rid of the car in 3 years and get the next model or something else. But this vehicle, I honestly, I didn't lease this, I bought it, but I honestly, don't know if I want to upgrade it to a Model S or a new Model 3 or Y or just another vehicle in particular, but I just don't know. It's been such a good car. So you can kind of see where this video is going just based off those statements. But yeah, this is a 2018 rear-wheel drive. As you can see, I did do some customizations. The main difference from this one and the 2023 models nowadays is that really this border around the window originally was chrome. That's what my car actually came with, and I had gloss black, placed on top of that. So, and all the new vehicles that are coming out the factory nowadays actually have black borders as well. So, if you see my vehicle on the street, you would actually think it's probably a brand new one, and it's not. You can see the rims here. These are T-Sport line rims. I got a few things done from T-Sport line here in LA. The car is lowered as well. The spoiler, I actually added that as well. Later on, you can kind of see that the back tail lights are a little darkened. Added that. And if I open the vehicle, or actually I can just show it to you from the front seat, you can kind of see that the seats inside are red. That is not something that came from Tesla. I got that customized. And actually I like the seats, but there is something that I do want to mention once we get inside. But yeah, overall, great vehicle, and let's, I guess, begin to start talking about some of the pros. I guess let's start with the pros, and then, I'll get to some of the negatives towards the end of the video. All right, guys, so like I said, let's stick with the pros first. One thing I can say after owning this vehicle for 86,000 miles is I haven't had really any maintenance on this vehicle. The only thing that I've done really is change the tires. I've got a flat tire one time on the highway coming from work. Tesla gave me a loaner tire. Actually, I waited for the tow truck. They sent me a loaner tire because this vehicle does not come with a tire in the back like some other vehicles. So I waited for the tow truck. They brought me a spare tire, and then I ordered another tire from Tesla, and they actually installed that at the showroom, so or the delivery center. But really, maintenance wise, it's no oil change, there's no transmission fluid or anything like that. So other than tire rotations, new tires every so many miles, you really don't have to do much for these cars, and you know, you don't realize it until you own one. That man, you know, I forget how many times I used to go get oil changes in my Audi. Like I know it was at least twice a year. And you know, that stuff adds up, you know, $400, $300, whatever it is, because they're not just doing oil changes unless you go to Jiffy Lube or something like that. They're always checking everything and asking you to replace this and this when sometimes you don't even need to. So it's always higher than, you know, what you expect going into it. But you know, this vehicle, windshield wiper fluid, that's really it. I haven't changed any brake pads in 86,000 miles. The brakes, I don't really use the brakes because it has regen braking. You know, I've heard stories where people haven't, you know, replaced brake pads in over 200,000 miles. So I probably won't even have this car by then, but that's insane to me, because my other cars, it's just, that stuff is just like, you're so used to doing it, and you're just so used to spending that money that it's like still shocking to me to this day that, you know, how much I'm saving on maintenance. When I took delivery, there was an issue with one of the tires, and that's something I'll talk a little bit about on the negatives. But yeah, as far as maintenance go, been great. Another thing, cheap electricity. You're not buying gas. This, depending on where you're located, this can make a huge difference. Like I said, I took delivery of this vehicle in St. Louis, Missouri, and you know, now I live in LA. I actually drove it from St. Louis all the way here to LA. Great trip. But depending on what state you're in and where you are, can, you know, save you so much more money. LA is probably, in New York and some other places, probably one of the more expensive, on the expensive end as far as electricity rates go. But when I was in St. Louis or even in Oklahoma, I think I was paying maybe like 6 or 7 cents per kilowatt. So to fill this up, this vehicle can go roughly about 290 miles, 300 miles when it was new. It costs maybe like $7 or $8 to fill it up. Like, that's to fill up the whole vehicle. Like, I think with my Audi, I was paying maybe $60, $70 to fill it up. This was $6, $7. Like, that is crazy to me. And if you work somewhere close to your home, I mean, you're not filling up for a good week or two. So $7, come on. Now here in LA, my electricity rate is roughly about 14 cents or to 21 cents in between there. I think right now it's 14 cents, but that's only at non-peak hours. So I have it set that my car only charges after midnight, so I can get that low electricity rate. But even here, you know, I'm paying maybe like $14, $16 or something to fill it up, as opposed to, you know, the gas is about $5 here on average, I think, at this point in time. So saving a lot of money there. And then you think about the maintenance, it's just been great. So you know, depending on where you are, if you're in the Midwest or somewhere, I mean, getting any electric vehicle, not just Tesla, but getting electric vehicle and getting it to the point where you can charge at home and you have a garage, it saves you so much money. You would not imagine how much money you save. Even my wife, she has a Mazda 6, very older car, like 2010. I mean, to fill that car up, she's paying maybe $80 every time she goes, and that's regular gas. And to go to work and back, that's, I mean, she may get a week and a half out of that, but that's a lot of money every month. You know, you're getting that maybe 3 times. So that's like $240 a month. Like, I don't know how I used to do it, but I'm never going back to paying for gas unless I really had to. I'm not planning on doing that. Another thing, you know, the over-the-air updates on this vehicle. This is the first vehicle that I ever owned that, you know, you hook it to Wi-Fi or you connect it to your home Wi-Fi, and just like your iPhone or your Android, whatever, you can get, you know, different or new updates on the car. They happen randomly. You don't know all the time when they're going to happen, but you'll randomly get a notification on your phone saying new update or software update available. You click download it, goes to your car, and then when you get in the car, you can see what the new features are. I've never experienced a car that can do that. Like and I think that's one of the main reasons why people keep these cars, because every update makes this vehicle feel fresh. You know, and I know eventually you're going to get to a point where, you know, because these vehicles have software chip or have, you know, microprocessors and things like that, you know, eventually they're not going to be able to get all the new features. That's what happens in smartphones. You get like the first 2-3 years of features, and then after that they start kind of going downward and you got to upgrade to the new phone. That's kind of how this is, but cars, you don't really upgrade as frequently. Like most cars or cars that people are used to don't ever change. You buy them, that's the same car that you bought 3 years ago. There's no new software to it. It's nothing new. So to have a car that after 4 years is still, getting new software updates and it has full self-driving, which, that could be much better, is awesome. I get video games. I get really good features like dog mode, camp mode. I have a dog, so and this feature didn't come with the car. I can set it so that it keeps the temperature at 72 in the car. On the screen, it'll show that, it'll say that owner is away, but temperature is 72, owner will be back or something, so that no one breaks into your window. They can see that, dog mode is active. And even when it is active, you can, on your phone from the app, you can actually see from the inside camera what's the dog doing, what's going on inside the car. Like that is crazy to me. Like that was something they just added maybe like a year or two ago. Like it's really beneficial, like for a lot of things that people do in their normal lives. So it's just, I love over-the-air updates. I think really the only other car is doing that is maybe Rivian to this extent. There are like Hyundai EV6 and some others that are starting to get there, but they're not to the point where Tesla is and Rivian are at this point. So keep that in mind. I have a friend with a Porsche Taycan. He has to actually physically go to the delivery or to the place to get the software update installed, and no one wants to go to a dealership to do that, like when it could just be downloaded on through Wi-Fi. Like it's just way more simpler to do it this way. So so that's that. Another thing is cars is fast. This is a rear drive vehicle. I think maybe 0 to 60, 4.8 seconds. I could get a performance or something that's much faster, but really I can, outside of a Tesla, Rivian or something that's, another EV, or some Ferrari or something, I can pretty much beat everybody off the line at a stoplight. Like I have so much torque in this car. Like, yes, I want something faster just because that's just me, but I can already beat pretty much all the cars on the road outside of a Tesla Performance and some other cars that are just, bunkers fast. So yeah, don't worry if you have to get the standard or the Performance. Really, just test drive them, see which one you like the best. Really, the standard is fast enough for most people. Like it's faster than my Audi, and it was an A5, and it's nowhere near as fast as this. So it will shock you how fast these vehicles can go just because of the instant torque. So that's another thing. This is a little unique to owning this vehicle, but I've traveled with this car from Missouri all the way to LA. I've did trips to the Grand Canyon. I've traveled from here to San Francisco, traveled from here to Phoenix, and I've been around. I would say that a positive to owning a Tesla is a supercharger network. I know a lot of people are afraid to convert to a EV because they're afraid that they won't find chargers. I will say, honestly, after owning this for 4 years, I've never had really an issue finding a charger, specifically for Tesla superchargers. They have really fleshed out their network. They built it pretty much on all the major routes around the country. You can literally get from LA to New York without no problem in a Tesla. I wouldn't worry about it. To be honest, the only thing I would worry about is if you're going to, obscure places like in the middle of nowhere, like a campground or something, or you're going to a national park that, or camping somewhere. Really, in those cases, you must do your due diligence. Make sure there's a charger that's nearby. You can use PlugShare or use the Tesla Supercharger navigation. They will show you where the chargers are. So, if you're just going to normal cities, doing normal family trips, you should be fine. Like, don't worry about charging. Of course, you worry a little bit, but you will be fine. I don't even plan most of my trips. If I'm going to San Francisco or going to Phoenix or Grand Canyon, I just put in the navigation in the car and it routes me through the chargers because I know there are chargers around. And Tesla is really fleshed out. Even if they're not Tesla chargers, typically you can find third-party chargers like ChargePoint, which I can access as well. So there are chargers around. It's easier with Tesla because they have access to the supercharger network and other vehicles don't. So keep that in mind. Do your research. Ask questions. And if you have questions for me, please ask in the comments below. Please subscribe too. But I'm happy to help you guys any way that I can. But If you want a Tesla or you're thinking about it, I would not really worry about charging unless you go to middle of nowhere places frequently, and or you're not living in a house and you live in an apartment that doesn't have charging infrastructure. I've done that. It's not the most convenient, but I charge probably 98% of my time in my garage. The only time I use a supercharger is if I'm taking a road trip. So keep that in mind. Most of the times you won't even never see or use a supercharger because you don't need to. It's only for road trips. If you are a family or a person that don't take road trips, you just take flights everywhere, you don't necessarily need to care about a supercharger at all. Just make sure you can charge at home. Yeah, so you should be able to do everything you need to do for all your daily basis activities, like going to the grocery store, going to the mall, whatever, taking the kids to Chuck E. Cheese. You should be all right. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to worry about superchargers all the time, but if you do a lot of road trips, just make sure you do your research. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys, so next up is storage space. So sorry, did not clean out the trunk, but this is how the trunk looks. Decent amount of storage. The back seats do fold forward, so you can put some long luggage or anything like that in here. Definitely a decent amount of storage in there. The car itself, I'll show you the back seat. Decent size, it's not the most biggest vehicle. It is a small sedan, so keep that in mind. But you also get a little bit of storage in the front. So right now I just have the Tesla bag, but you can put some grocery bags or whatever you desire in this trunk compartment. Usually my wife put her purse in here. It's safer. There's no way to get in it without physically opening it. So that's a good spot just to keep things that you don't really want in the trunk or in the back seat or something like that. So storage, decent. I haven't had any issues. And actually, it does have more storage than my Audi did, so I'm enjoying that. I think going forward, I think that's one of the biggest things for getting an upgrade is to get something that has a little bit more storage. But for the most part, things I do, it's been great. It's worked for me. So yeah. All right, last but not least, we're going inside. So let's take a look. Best part of this car, to me, is the entertainment system. I think it's the most unique, most refreshing entertainment system that's out there. I know some people may say that it's too basic, it's too minimalistic. To me, I'm a tech guy. I like it. It's simple. It's easy to understand. Of course, it's a learning curve for those that come from different vehicle manufacturers. But once you learn it and you can work an iPhone or something, it's very simple to grasp. It is not hard. So let me show you what I like about this vehicle. So this is the entertainment system. As you can see, yes, everyone has seen a Model 3. We know that they're very minimal. It's not a lot in here. Very bare, interior. But I think it's kind of cool to have everything you need on one screen. That's just me. I do not care about having the speed right here or to look right here. It is not really that. Either way, the road is up here. If the speedometer is down, you're looking down, or you're looking this way. So to me, it's not that big of a deal. Now, I will say heads-up displays, that would be cool if it had a head-up display. But that's just one thing. I don't care. I know some people do, but it is what it is. But it's the entertainment system. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but this is something that I like. I just like everything on this. I like the over-the-air updates. It changes things. It just adds additional features. The layout can shift. That's one thing. When you don't have buttons and you just have a screen, things can change. Customizations can happen. It's not, this button could be a different button tomorrow. Now that can be bad and that can be good, but if you keep tabs of what the release notes are and you just keep messing with the car and make sure you keep track of what's going on, it's really simple. It's just like your phone. But I like it. Easy, smooth navigation. Like I said, this is a 2018 and it still doesn't have the most newest processor, but it's still fast. You can see everything, every door, anything that's open here. Easy access to settings, a lot of settings to go through. I think one of the big things I like is Apple Music integration nowadays. That was added in a software update. One of my favorite things is, all the games and entertainment things you can do. The theater here allows you to watch apps like Netflix, Hulu, Disney, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Really cool stuff. They can add more to this as they see fit. Arcade, has all these kind of games, a lot of old school games here. I don't play these as much, and I know some of the newer vehicles have Steam integration, so you can like hook a PS5 controller to the car and play like legit PS5 games or PC games. I would probably utilize that a little more, but unfortunately the Model 3 does not have that. You know, it'd be cool if they did have that later in the future. I don't know. I don't think I probably wouldn't get it in this vehicle because I just don't have the newer processor. But it would be cool if the newer Model Ys and 3s could get it, since they are using the same processing power, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, please put that in a comment. I don't know, but I believe they were using the same processor. Toy box is cool, gives you little Easter eggs, you know, seeing Santa Claus, fire pit, turns on the heat, shows fire on the screen. You can change your car color right here if you want to with the colorizer. You know, a lot of cool stuff. It's just a really cool car. I like the things that they can add and the things that they can adjust to make the experience, or just improve the experience for everyone. They can't improve it for everybody. Some people hate change and don't like when things change. I understand, but it is good that they can make adjustments if they see a lot of people not liking something. You know, like I said, I was mentioning earlier with dog mode. You know, I think having these features here like dog mode, keep the air climate on, camp mode, pretty cool. Like, it's just a lot of cool stuff that you can do with this vehicle. So and that's not even getting to the full self-driving and all that stuff, which could be better, but that's something they're still working on. But overall, I like the car. I got these wireless phone chargers installed. The new vehicles actually come with this already standard. The 2018 did not have this as a charger, phone charger, so I actually got a third party to do that. But yeah, the car, you know, looks about the same other than the seats from when I got it. You know, the carbon fiber, this is different. This carbon fiber is wrapped, but you know, car has been great. I mean, with 80, let me show you the mileage so you guys don't think I'm lying about this. As you can see, 87,000 miles on this vehicle. And actually I can show you what I have here. Yeah, full self-driving capability, premium connectivity, full self-driving 11.4.6. Here's some more additional information. Premium audio system, full self-driving. Don't have the CCS adapter, that's on the new vehicles. Cabin heater, mine has resistive. The newer vehicles have a heat pump that's supposed to be a little more efficient. I'm hoping that they change this modem capabilities to 5G. I really would like that in some of the newer vehicles. I know 4G is definitely, you know, more out there, but I think 5G should be an option at this time, just because I've had 5G on my phone for several years now, and I think having faster speed is always better. So I hope that they change that, hopefully in the next year or two, to incorporate 5G. So yeah, that's all the positive things. So, you know, in summary for that, I really enjoy this vehicle. I honestly don't know what other vehicle I would even get if I sold this. You know, I was considering getting a Rivian. I don't know. I just, part of me wants to just keep this and get something else on the side, but keep this as my go-to for just doing errands and things like that, and then get another vehicle for more storage and some things like that. So I just enjoy this car so much. It's been great. I mean, even at 86,000 or 87,000 miles, I don't have issues, you know, nothing substantial that will make me, you know, want to sell right now. So I'm still kind of thinking on that. But yeah, if you're like worried about getting a vehicle that has high mileage, you know, over 40,000 miles, 50,000 miles, you know, go look at it, test drive it. But if it's no crazy things going on, I really think these vehicles really can hold up. You do have the battery warranty and drivetrain warranty for 120,000 miles, so that's a great warranty. So yeah, keep that in mind, you know. But if you can get the tax credit and the newer prices keep dropping, you may want to just get a new one, get the fresh processor, get all the new stuff. That's just my, you know, my suggestion. Make sure you look at what the new prices are first before you decide to get the used, because these vehicles, even though they depreciate, they're not as low as you would think they would be. I think mine, I still can get roughly about 20 2000. Even with so many, the mileage that it has, you can get a new one for like 30, 38 or something. So keep that in mind. And with, if you get the tax credit or you're eligible, that's 7,500 off. So that's like 32,000. You can get a new one for pretty cheap nowadays. I mean, to some, to certain standards. So keep that in mind. Do your research, do your due diligence before you buy, a Tesla, used, or new. So just wanted to say that. So negatives, let's go to that now. So I'm gonna say this now. This is not really on Tesla. I customized my vehicle because I wanted it to look a little different than all the other Model 3s that were out here. So I got these red seats from T-Sport Line. One thing I'm having an issue with is that you can see that there's cuts in the leather. I really despise that. I don't feel like these seats are old enough to have these cuts. They're only here, and I understand that I sit here when I get in the car and I rub against that portion. But I've only had these seats for maybe 50,000 miles, or if that. I don't even know if I've had them that long. And to be honest, I've had other luxury cars where the seats will hold up. I had a Toyota that had almost 100,000 miles on it, and the seats were fine. So that is something. T-Sport Line is like I said, I got my rims from there. I got my lowering suspensions from there. I got a lot of stuff, but these seats I really don't like. I like how they are, but I don't like how they don't seem as reliable as I thought they were. Now the material that they're using nowadays may be better, but I got this maybe 2-3 years ago, and I don't think these seats are holding up as much as they should have. So that's the issue with maybe more so T-Sport Line, not with Tesla. If I had the previous Tesla seats, I think they will be fine. But these leather seats do not hold up, at least this material that I have. Now they could have changed it, I don't know, but at least right now what I have, I don't like this. And please, if they're still doing this, please improve it. I don't care anymore because I have almost 90,000 miles in this car and I'm just gonna sell it anyway, or whatever. But yeah, please improve this. That is annoying. Another thing I had with this vehicle is that when I first got the delivery, I had a squeak. I don't know why I had the squeak, but when I took delivery, I took it from Missouri, I drove it to Oklahoma, and literally within about 100 miles, I started hearing a squeak in the rim. Of course, I had just took delivery, so I complained. I called Tesla and was like, I don't know what this is. Can I schedule a service visit? They had me bring it to, or actually had someone come to my home, a mobile service come to my home, and they took off the rim and found it was something stuck in between the brake caliper and the pad, and they were able to remove it, and it stopped the squeak. But those are things that, I just wish the quality was a little bit better. I never had that experience with my Audis or anything like that. So to have something happen so close after delivery was kind of annoying. And that's one of the big things I do want to stress, is that the fit and finish and quality of Tesla is not there yet. You can definitely tell that they're still a new company. My car, it has almost 90,000 miles on it, but it does squeak a little bit. I'm not saying that that's not the case in other vehicles, but it does have a little squeak when it hits over bumps and things like that. It's operating perfectly fine now. Like I said, I haven't had really any maintenance issues, but there are things, quality control issues, that they need to continue to improve on, and I know they can. They're doing some good thing in manufacturing, and they're making improvements, but they just need to keep really stressed. Sometimes it's better not to just simply get a vehicle out the door, but to fix it while it's there so that the customer has a better experience. So that's one thing I just want to get across. I think the vehicles are great. They just need to improve on the quality a little bit. So that's one thing. All right, last but not least, I said previously that my vehicle has full self-driving. I enjoy using it. Right now it's more of a party trick. I show it off to my wife and some of my friends to see what the improvements have been. But it's definitely something you can't just relax. It actually, I feel like it stresses out the drive a little bit more if you're not like on a 2-lane highway going to another state or something. If you're like in the city, especially LA with our traffic, it stresses you out a lot more than if you were just driving yourself. And that's not, I know in the future, hopefully it's supposed to be more safe than a human driver, and hopefully not stress you out, because no one's going to want to sit in the car and be stressed out every time you make a turn on the highway or something like that. So what I don't like is that I paid up front for full self-driving, and if I decide to upgrade this vehicle, even though I will say, in their defense, in Tesla's defense right now, they're allowing people to upgrade vehicles just for this quarter, Q3, to I believe September 30th. They're allowing people with full self-driving to upgrade to a new Tesla and transfer over their full self-driving. This is something that, you know, owners from the beginning have been asking for, because we paid with the expectation that our cars would be full self-driving, and, you know, in the future. I don't know when, but, you know, we expected that full self-driving would already happen. You know, Elon said many years ago that, oh, or full self-driving is going to be complete by the end of this year or something, and then that year passes, nothing happens, and then he says it again that year. I'm just saying that we paid in advance because we thought we would, it was an investment that we could use this, we can use it as a robo-taxi, and hopefully make money off of it in the future. But right now, full self-driving is $15,000. It is not worth $15,000. If I trade this car in, I don't even get 15,000 credits. So they obviously don't think it's worth $15,000. So I don't know why they're charging $15,000. It's just software. So I feel like if I'm paying $15K for this software, then if I trade this car in, I should get it should be a $15,000 credit, no matter if I upgrade or not. That should just be on, you know, my notice. But that's just my opinion. I think they need to adjust that. I honestly think if you have full self-driving, you should be able to upgrade it to any new car, as long as you trade in your Tesla with FSD to the new Tesla. Why would I pay $15K for a new Model 3 full self-driving and then upgrade maybe to a Model S and Model X in a year or so, you know, and pay $15K again? That doesn't make sense, especially when I haven't even got the full $15K, like what it's worth. Full self-driving is not a thing yet, so I'm paying $15K, but I'm not getting my, you know, I'm trying to think of the word for it, but I'm not getting my investment back. So it's like you're just throwing money for no reason. It's not something that's it's not even necessary at this point. So I don't like the fact that we're paying for future features. I did it because I was trying to, I have trust for Tesla, but certain things, you know, if I have to choose right now, I would not get full self-driving. I would, if anything, get the subscription, just test it out. You do not need to buy it. I would for sure would not pay $15K for it. Now, if you already have it, that's great. I think Tesla should allow you to transfer that to any new Tesla that you want, and that would likely encourage stickiness in the brand, because if I pay $15K and I know, oh, if I get a Model S, I will keep my $15K, I ain't got to pay 15 grand again, I may do that. Because on the other side, I'm like, well, if I'm not getting my full self-driving back, I might as well just get a Rivian or something, because I'm not going to pay $15K for it. I'm just going to have standard autopilot. So that's something I don't like. I think that's one of the negatives for me, is paying for features that the car already has. And I know that's just something that's happening in the industry, but it's just something I don't necessarily agree with, specifically in FSD. If you're going to do this, make it beneficial for the customer. Allow it, give us the 15K credit if we trade in this car, or allow us to trade, you know, put it on our new car, not just for one quarter, but forever. You know, I just think that's better for the customer experience and to keep people wanting to upgrade to a new Tesla. All right, guys, just want to briefly mention the app as well. I really enjoy the app. As you can see, you can open a lot of the compartments. You can open the front trunk and the frunk. You can also see the climate. You can see where the car is stored. You can use summon. You can see if you have any vehicle upgrades you can pay for. You can schedule service in the app. It's just a really good app. And also you can adjust the climate control. You can turn on the seat heaters. So definitely a cool app. So yeah. This is my Model 3, 87,000 miles on it. Do I have any regrets for getting this vehicle? Nope, not at all. It's been a great vehicle. Certain things they can improve, like the fit and finish, FSD. I'm really hoping that gets better, that that's actually worth it in the future. But other than that, I mean, the car, the torque, it drives super fast. Like, it has great features. It has great entertainment features. It's just a great car. So keep that in mind. Even used is a great car. So I love it. I would not go back to a normal gas car. I would keep this. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys my review of my vehicle at 87,000 miles. I've loved it. I cherish this car. I've driven it more than any car I've ever had. So I hope that helps with you guys' decision making. Sorry, my neighbor's kind of moving his car, but yeah, I hope that helps you guys in your decision making if you're deciding to get a Model 3 or Model Y or something used or new. They are great cars. Mine's been pretty reliable. I've had a few little small issues, but in the grand scheme of things, I have not had any issues with this car. It's been great the whole time, saving a lot of money on electricity, or I guess getting no gas. You're saving a lot of money, especially on maintenance as well, no oil change or things like that. So keep that in mind. Great car. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for me, please leave those in the comments section below. And until the next video, it was great talking to you guys. And enjoy your Teslas if you get one or if you already have one. Talk to you guys later. Peace.